Hi everybody, Matt Alessandrini here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you again how to use Microsoft Word in your classroom. Now, so far I've shown you things on the Home tab and things on the Insert tab. Now we're moving right along to the Page Layout tab. Now I want to go ahead and tell you that I'm not going to go ahead and show you everything on the Page Layout tab. I'm just going to go ahead and show you things that I feel that you would use in your classroom. That doesn't mean that the rest of them aren't important. It's just that these are the ones that I use most frequently and the ones that I know a lot of my colleagues in education use most frequently. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, the first thing I want to take you to is over and to the left where it says the theme. I'm going to go ahead and just type a regular sentence. I'm going to go ahead and make this just a little bit bigger because you're going to want to be able to see the typing when I actually do this. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go back to page layout. Now, theme. This is going to go ahead and, this is my office theme. If I go, it'll just, if you notice, take a look as I go to each theme, how it just changes the typing out just a little bit. It really depends upon what you want to actually do. Okay? I kind of like that elemental. So I'm going to go ahead and click on elemental. Now, if any time you don't like this, you can always go ahead and reset theme to template, and I'll take you back to where you were before. So there we have my theme. Now we have my colors. It doesn't really affect anything unless you have pictures or unless you have a cover page to it. So we're not going to worry about colors. Here we have fonts. Again, look and see how it changes around. And finally, I have my effects right here. The effects, again, it depends upon what kind of pictures and what kind of other art you have up on here. For just typing, it doesn't really affect everything. So we're not going to worry. So really the fonts and the colors you don't really worry about. The themes is something that you could look at. Margins and orientation. Don't worry too much about the margins. Usually when we have usually what the margins are set at are usually good for basic papers. Now orientation. This is a good one because sometimes when you're making a paper, sometimes instead of it wanting to be up and down where your typing goes up and down, sometimes you might want it to go right across, right to left. That basically means that now when I type and I print it out, the paper is going to be, the paper is going to print out and it's going to be going from right to left instead of top to bottom. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put it back up to top to bottom. Here we have the size. I have my standard 8x5 by 11 typical piece of paper. Let's just say you want to make it a little bit bigger, 11 by 17. You can click on that, and that'll make it. But again, you have to understand if you're going to print this out, if you're actually going to print this out, you got to make sure that you have the type of paper and a printer to do that. Our printers do that, but you're going to want to make sure you talk to the secretaries before you do that because I know the paper is a little bit more expensive. We have our legal 8x5 by 14 if you want to make a legal size, executive, envelope if you actually want to do an envelope. Now I suggest if you do an envelope, I would suggest that you do make it a landscape. So now if you want to actually print out envelope information, you can go ahead and do that and type whatever you want to and it'll come out the envelope size. Okay, I'm going to go back to size. I'm going to take us back to the regular letter right there. Alright, columns. Columns is a really cool feature because sometimes, like if you're working on a newsletter, you can go ahead and put columns in there. Let's just see one have 2 columns. So now it looks like nothing's happened, but watch what happens when I start typing. Okay, I'll go ahead and say my name is Matthew and see, there you go. Basically what I've just done is I create a column now. I'm going to go ahead and backspace. And here we go with this. Now I can go ahead and type it in. Here I have 2 columns right there. Now, let's just say that you don't want these right here to be 2 columns. Click on that. And if you want to, if you want to go back to regular 1 column, just go and click 1 column. And there you are with that. Okay? The cool thing is that you still have 2 columns right there. So like if you want to have the top part being 1 column, again, all I did is I just highlighted what I wanted to be 1 column. And click on that. I want this to be 1 column right here. Okay? It all depends upon where you click it and where you highlighted that. But in this case now, I want everything to be one column. So go back to one column, one, here we go. Okay? Here we have breaks, talk about our page breaks, or our column breaks, or text wrapping. Again, those are just, we've talked about page breaks in my other screencast. Talked about line numbers, and also our hyphenation. Okay. Again, those are things that I don't really think you need to worry too much about when you're doing Microsoft Word in the classroom. Watermark. If you want to go ahead and do something professionally and you don't want to have anybody copy it, go ahead and click on this and it will make a watermark in the back part of it. Again, is it necessary for working in the classroom? Probably not. Page color. If you want to go ahead and spice up or jazz up your page color a little bit, why not give it a different type of color? Borders. Look, you have all these different types of borders you could use. You have shadows, boxes. Let's just say you want to go ahead and make a dotted line border. Let's just say you want it to be pretty dark width. And you want to apply it to the document, or if you want to apply it to the first page, it just depends on where you want it to be. Click on that, and there's my border. Now that's pretty cool. But in this case, I want my page border to have a little bit more emphasis to it. So I'm going to click down here in the art. Maybe I want to go ahead and put since Halloween, I'm going to go put candy corn on it. Click on that. There I have candy corn. And my color, I want my color to be maybe a little bit more Halloween, a little more friendly for Halloween. Maybe not like that. Okay, maybe I want to have more of a yellow to it. Okay, there you go, like that. So again, look how much more interesting your paper is now. We have indentation and spacing. No need to worry about that. So basically, there's not too much to the page layout. The biggest thing I want you to get out of it is the fact you can change the themes around. You can go ahead and change the orientation. You can put over the landscape. We'll put you in the landscape too. I don't know why you're like that. Or some portrait. Okay. And also there's the watermark, the page color, and the page border. So again, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you're finding these screencasts informational and helpful. I will talk to you all later.